Stockholm, Lagos, Saudi, Raidu,
Well, now that Christmas time is over, the new year has come. I guess it's been a while since the last video. Oh well. So when I found my camera in the smithy um, after my New Year break, I saw that the cord was gnawed off by mice. They had eaten all my peanuts and eaten my camera cord. I'm not a technical guy, not in any sense. I'm perhaps technical when it comes to how forging works and stuff like that, but when it comes to electrical, technical stuff, I am worthless. Luckily enough, I have a girlfriend that knows a lot more than I do, so she managed to get the cord together. So here we are again. Time for a new video. It's a wonderful last of January day. Nice and sunny. Well, I have a lot of things to do. My butt is getting cold. So, yep, let's get going. So, what the hell is this thing? Well, many of you might see that it's a replica of Frostmourne. You see, I started before even doing any kind of blacksmith work. One of my earliest business-like adventures was to sell LARP weapons, to make and sell LARP weapons. And there's a slight difference between LARP weapons and, say, cosplay weapons, but I'll get to that in a moment. Well, I have some examples behind here of stuff that I made long time ago. Of various kinds of both historical-ish and fantasy-ish weapons. So what I find interesting about making cosplay pieces is that there are pretty much no limitations to what you can make. At least when it comes to shape and size. Because these things are they're light. The light weight of it also, of course, makes it safer. So, about making these pieces. As you can see, here's the handle, of course. The handle is made out of wood and it's wrapped in leather. In the handle, there's the core, which in this case is a rod of fiberglass rod. And around the fiberglass rod, you sort of build your weapon from kind of plastic foam, pretty much the same kind of plastic foam as sleeping mats. So it's not really any kind of strange material. You don't need to use fiberglass rods for the core. I mean, you could use pretty much anything that is sturdy. I just use fiberglass because it doesn't break. So covering the entire thing is, of course, latex. This might be the hardest ingredients to obtain, but it's not impossible in any kind of sense. So when talking about the differences between, say, a LARPing piece and a cosplay piece, is that you can actually make a cosplay piece
much more detailed, much more intricate, and you don't have to think about durability in the same way, you don't have to think about safety in the same way. When it comes to a LARPing sword, you need a lot of material around the core, so it needs to look sturdy. You also need a heavy latex coat, several layers, like 15 layers or so. You also need a sort of built-in safety capsule around the point of the core, because otherwise it will just spear right through. And you also need to save a lot of point to just be empty and flexible. You're not supposed to stab with LARP weapons, but anyways, it's just for safety. So with a cosplay piece, you don't need to do that, because you're not in the same kind of heavy combat as the LARPing weapons. You are mostly posing for pictures, or just carrying it around, or swinging it around. So this one, as you can hear when I'm putting it at the floor, the core is all the way out in the point, which gives a nicer, sturdy-ish, but sturdier feeling to the entire thing. So you can rest the point on the floor without the point just bending. You can make this at home. It's nothing. It's nothing too complicated, and it's a lot of fun. So most of it is, as I said before, just plastic foam, a kind of core. Fiberglass is really nice. You need latex, and of course what you need is contact glue, contact cement to put everything together. And you need sharp knives. In this case I'm using my own knives, but of course you can use box cutters. I just like to use my own knives, which I can just resharpen when they get dull. So about the sturdiness of LARP weapon in comparison to cosplay pieces, I mean, they are supposed to take a lot of beating. They're supposed to really...
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
You're supposed to be able to take a lot of beating from them without getting hurt, of course. And they also need to be able to take a lot of punishment. They're pretty much made for abuse. All the ends, so to speak, are safe in comparison to the cosplay pieces, which, I mean, if I would beat anything with the crossguard on this one, pieces would just fly all over the place. It will just fall apart. But for carrying around, posing with, just playing around with, that works perfectly. And also for while having in public spaces and everything like that, these are of course completely safe. I mean, you really need to put your back into it if you want to hurt someone with something like that. Anyways, tea time. The variety of things you can make is just formidable, and it's a lot of fun. It's toy making. That's what it is. It's toy making. And I kind of was the local toy maker of my town for a while. But what it came down to was that you can't possibly, as a private business and a maker of these things, when you make them by hand, as I did, you can't possibly cover the expenses. People won't buy these things for what they're worth. As long as you don't have any kind of factory establishment or something like that, where you can just make several at the same time, and you spray paint and you just mill out or cast or stuff like that, you won't be able to cover the time and expense that goes into making these. So it was sort of something that I left behind, but it's fun to think back at. If you see them as just toys and fun things, that's what it is. But I still like to make cosplay stuff. Cosplayers know that stuff takes time to make, so they actually do sometimes pay what things are actually worth. This one I made for my brother, but he at least paid most of the expenses for this. So I hope you found some enjoyment in this little video. It's a little in-between piece between my actual work and the things I do on this channel. So yeah, you have a good one. Hey-do!